Think of seeing a young girl between ages of 16 and 18 years of age. She is young and ready to take on the world. A stranger approaches her and tells her a new job and opportunity that's in a land far away or in a big city of her dreams. Maybe a son is working as a cleaning lady for a resort or hotel. Soon she is moved by train, car, or any means necessary to her destination. Only to be met by another stranger and to be told that everything she expected to see and do has been a flat-out lie. Now she's in debt for thousands of dollars. She is then in the process of being sent to, and while there, beaten, tortured, raped into submission to be part of exploitation for some type of commercial service or servitude. Odds are in her favor that in the first 6 months of this experience she will die. Odds are also well in her favor soon afterwards, if she lives through that she will be forced to some form of narcotics or alcohol. If this dark dream gets better in the next few years, she will convince another innocent individual into this dark dream that she's now living in. But now imagine it's not a complete stranger, it is a child, a neighborhood, a friend, someone you know. Human trafficking is an international occurrence taking place in our own backyards. It is a modern-day form of slavery that is lacking the attention it deserves. As stated by Dr. Timothy Shaw from the Advanced Technical Intelligence Center, human trafficking is one of the fastest-growing criminal industries in the world. Traffickers reap around $9.5 billion in profits by using force, fraud, and types of coercion. At the end, as stated by Ms. Farrell of the National Institute of Justice, there are some 27 million people that are exploited worldwide and are forced into labor and sexual exploitation. 1.4 million people were trafficked annually in 2011 across international and U.S. borders. Experts also believe that a minimum of approximately 5,000 to 60,000 people are trafficked into and within the United States each year. As stated with figures in the Daily News, which is a website under Forbes magazine, it is estimated close to 300,000 children are at risk for exploitation through servitude within the United States each year, and is a brutal form of human trafficking. Ms. Carr states in her book, Sex Trafficking Inside the Business of Modern Slavery, that people in smuggling and trafficking persons have been considerable public profile in the past decade. Both involve a movement, and the difference between them is not always understood in the general public. Where trafficking of persons in which individuals were forced, beaten, and into submission in order to be brought to the United States for some form of labor. People being smuggled are often individuals who are paid for a service to be brought to the United States for a better hope and a dream. Yet, there are laws increasing and so is the enforcement of human trafficking within the United States. Yet, as a commerce, it does rival with the illegal drug trade and arms trafficking trade. Victims get overwhelmed in the criminal system, and it places victims in the same category though at times as criminals themselves. Many victims are overlooked and deported back to harsh living conditions in foreign countries or sent into prisons where they will never be known as to their actual status. Many nations, including the U.S., they focus more on the stop the flow of human trafficking at the borders more than combating and chasing down the source, as it is with the illegal gun trade and drug trade. Human trafficking impacts on the U.S. It is a multi-dimensional threat. It deprives people of their human rights and freedoms. It is a global health risk, and it does fuel the growth of not only organized crime, but also now terrorism. Statistical information of Mr. Solvis from Forbes magazine, in which they break down the economy from prostitution, domestic service, agriculture, and sweatshops of all those that are trafficked in the United States as of 2011. From Mr. James Harr for taking sides on global issues, as is stated, most of these are mostly women and children. They are generally less poor and own less property, and they're less educated and prone to the tricks of the traffickers, and easily to be subdued. What happens to these victims, and many have their passports, any type of identification, including driver's license, social security card, and birth information, removed, and basically their traces erased. Many of them themselves or their families directly are threatened. They're bonded by debt. They're also sometimes forced into arranged marriages, and they're used in some form of slave labor. Another phenomenon noticed by T.K. Kaufman for News Channel 5 in Cleveland on January 3rd, 2013, drugs and weapons can only be sold one time, but women and children can be sold into slavery each and every day, over and over until they are dead. Many people carry many myths of human trafficking, to include only a small number of people are victims of human trafficking. Trafficking doesn't happen in the U.S. for the stories in the movies. But a big one is human trafficking is the same as human smuggling, as part of illegal immigration, which in fact it is not. In the United States, many of the routes, as described by J.E.R. Hart in the book Taking Sides, Fashion, Views, and Global Issues, signs many people being brought into the United States from every point of origin in the globe, but also more so they're actually moved and traveled within the United States. It is thought as estimated 14 to 17,000 are brought to the United States each year as of 2011 for the sole purpose of being trafficked in the U.S. The average cost of a U.S. female if deported and collectively moved outside the United States is at an average cost of $10,000 per person, with an average age as young as 14 in the U.S. Average age internationally is as young as 7. There is a formal approach for the prosecution of traffickers in the U.S. The government has successfully prosecuted human trafficking crimes from agricultural fears to escort services, bars, and clubs. Human trafficking does have a prosecution issue within the Civil Rights Division, but more so, the unofficial issue is victims are misidentified as either being found as illegal immigrants or being part of a criminal activity themselves. Human trafficking has many hidden victims and are found and charged with a crime, deported to host nations, or forced into prison as they are a victim themselves. What is known what happens to the victim is also a little unknown. The simple fact only as few as on the average 1,000 victims come forth on a given year. So what to do? Meet with your local, state, federal, and government representatives, let them know what you can do and help do what they're doing to combat this crime of human trafficking. Encourage your local schools to partner with students to include issues of modern-day slavery and trafficking in your area. Encourage your local schools to partner with students to include the issue of modern-day slavery in their curriculum. Incorporate human trafficking information in your professional associations, conferences, trainings, manuals, and other materials relevant. Men and women are trafficked within their own countries across international borders. Trafficking affects every continent and most countries, especially government. As you reach out to help those that are victims, speak out for those who cannot help themselves and will never have a perfect way of life as everyone does in this country, or attempts to. Speak out to those right now who are being taken away from their lives and homes and are being brutally put into despair and possibly facing actions of death on every bend they turn. Are there any questions?